Hi everyone. I want to spend the next few minutes talking about what does chronic pain look like. This is one of the videos that I'm sharing from my heart. I've not made a script. I'm sharing this partly for my experience, but also for you to be able to take this video and send it on to your friend and say, I've got something for you to see to help you understand me. I've been dealing with chronic pain for the past decade. And I'll tell you, it's been a very challenging journey, but it's been one that's been full of rewarding moments. When I first started into chronic pain, I really didn't know what I was in for. And it's a whole lifestyle onto itself. Probably the saddest thing that I've had to deal with in this journey is losing numerous friends. It's from people not being able to understand that my electric wheelchair is a tool to give me the ability to walk and not who I am. And a lot of people haven't made that distinction and thus haven't made the effort to maintain a friendship with me. So one thing I want to encourage you is not to be making yourself or thinking of yourself as a tool, but still as a person and as someone who's valuable and does have something to contribute. Part of the effects of chronic pain and the real challenge of it is that it's not immediately visual. And what I mean by this is if I broke a bone, I would go to the hospital, get a cast on, and move on with my life. For chronic pain, it is your life. It virtually hijacks your life and then leaves you to figure out how you're going to resume living. It means learning to live a complete new skill set, managing time, energy, and money. It's a real challenge. And being a good friend means coming alongside of someone who's going through the adjustment that's just started experiencing chronic pain and continuing to be their friend unconditionally and being someone that they can talk to about virtually anything and still be accepted and know that you care about them. It doesn't mean that there's going to be times where it's hard to be a friend. I've told no lack of people that I just can't physically spend time with them today because of how badly I need to rest right now. But it means having the perseverance and the pure interest in spending time with them. One way of seeing how someone's doing is having a really close look at their cheeks in their face and their eyes. When someone's in pain, their cheeks may go red, the same as when a child is teething. For the eyes, you can see when someone looks tired and could really use a good rest. So you'll see the tiredness in and around their eyes. The third symptom of pain is perspiring. For me, I soak my t-shirts quite regularly because of being in pain. Somehow my body's overheating and it turns into sweating. very intensely. Being a good friend means you're not going to torment about body odor. You may respectfully talk about it, but still being accepted even if the friend smells, because it's the pain that's doing it. I remember going through puberty and sweating so much and doing nothing and causing sweat. And people around me didn't understand it, but that's what was happening. It's the same thing with pain, that if this is happening to you, have the courage and the self-confidence to explain what's going on in your body. People aren't mind readers, and if you don't say what's going on, most people aren't going to pick up on the hints or the symptoms. Now, another challenge of chronic pain is overcoming the source of the pain. So what I mean by this is, for someone who relies on a wheelchair like myself, a task that may take me 2 hours to complete can be done in under 30 minutes for someone who's able-bodied. If you're coming to check on someone who's in chronic pain, it would be appropriate to ask if there's anything you could do that would be helpful. It may be washing the dishes that are in the sink. Maybe it means that you're sweeping the floor, cleaning the shower, washing the sink out. There's a handful of things that you might be able to do that don't take more than 10 to 15 minutes and would make a big difference to the person who deals with the pain. Now, I also want to speak on the challenge of timing. I've also canceled many events because of just being physically done and needing to rest. So a person who has a friend that's in chronic pain needs to understand that saying no isn't rejection of the person, but taking care of their body. And there's a big difference. I also want to highlight that chronic pain causes broken sleep, and when you haven't had a good night's sleep, the emotional challenges rise to the surface. Being a good friend means accepting and listening without judging. It's feeling a person's presence in your life, almost like a person's shadow caused by the sun. So I'm just trying to give you a few things to think about. If you are going to check in on someone, I would encourage you to ask if there's something small that could be done to help them in the here and now. So what it may mean is picking up a pair of socks or underwear that's fallen onto the floor and putting them into the laundry, and they were being left there just because of the sheer effort to get them off the floor. And you know, I've made that decision numerous times myself. I also want to highlight that when chores aren't done in a house, it doesn't mean that the person who's in pain doesn't care and doesn't want them done. But when you're in pain, the order of priorities completely changes. It means getting enough rest to function, enough nourishment to sustain one's health, and then trying to spend the energy on what's necessary for life. In my calculation, it would take a team of about 15 to 20 people to properly support someone who's in chronic pain, where it's friends, and or family members, almost like a 3-week schedule where 5 people would check in per week. It's not always the easiest thing to ask for help. If you offer to help a friend who's in pain do something, you need to be good for your word and not say I'll do something but then not follow through. I finally want to end with this. If you're dealing with chronic pain, or you want to help your friend who's in chronic pain, help them to reconnect with music that will help them when they're alone and can turn to it as a healthy source of comfort and sort of for the relaxation that occurs with music. I can tell you from my own life that it's helped me no lack of times. In some ways, the person who's in chronic pain is left to live their life. And it's the friends around that are sort of like cheering or moral support. It's kind of like how I watch a grade 8 student do his gymnastics practice, and now he's asked me if I'd go watch him occasionally do his soccer practice. When I'm up to it, it's a nice chance to get out for an hour, even if that's all that I do for the day. It's worth my while to have invested my life in his, and someone helped me so I could be able to do this. It's still important that someone who's in chronic pain be able to live their life. It's often one that's a marathon, and the journey's never really done because of dealing with the pain. But it's the friendships and the care and compassion that help make the lifestyle manageable. I've given you lots to chew on. I sincerely hope this has helped. Thanks for this time together. Bye for now.